The next topic for discussion is situational models. Unlike propositional representation model, which is primarily concerned with the meaning that is present in the sentences, situational models represents the state of affairs that a text refers to. Modern researchers in the psycholinguistics and in cognitive theories, those theories which concerns with the discourse processing, have proposed that semantic models play a very important role in the understanding of any discourse. The notion model over here refers to set of rules that are important, that are effective for the interpretation of any discourse. The psychological correlate of this notion are the models in the episodic memory. They are therefore called episodic model. Now they function as partial, subjective, and relevant cognitive mapping of the real world and therefore the social situations. The models which deal with this kind of situations are known as situational model. Situational models have also attracted researchers' attention and who have tried to conduct studies and assess how people, in terms of developing the understanding of a discourse, contribute in terms of the social surroundings and social parameters. According to these models, we comprehend the proposition of text. We construct a mental or situational model of a world as described by the text. So situational model or any picture that you draw, that comes from the information that is given in the text or that is described in the text. Bransford et al. Conducted a study and they gave the participants with these sentences where it says 3 turtles rested on a floating log and a fish swam beneath them. 3 turtles rested besides a floating log and a fish swam beneath them. And third, a fish swam beneath a floating log. Now, if you notice, the only difference between the two sentences, which is this and this, 31 and 32, is whether the turtles were on or beside the log. Then both groups of the participants were given a list of sentences that either were or were not presented earlier and were asked to decide whether they had seen them before. The key sentence was 33. A fish swam beneath a floating log. Students who read 31 were more likely to falsely recognize 33 than those who read 32. It appears that comprehenders constructed a spatial layout of the situation rather than stored the individual sentences or proposition. So they performed on the basis of spatial layout. Rather remembering the individual sentences. Another study conducted by Pairing and Kinch, they believe that the root group recalled more propositions. In contrast, when they asked to draw a map of the town, the survey group made fewer errors. So they were basically asked to draw a map, and out of that they were asked to memorize a map of research center, the research conducted by Morrow, Bauer and Greenspan. And then read narratives about characters at various locations in the center. Now, some of the sentences describe the character's movement through the rooms of a center. After each of these motion sentences, the participants were presented with pairs of objects from various rooms. So they were given a map to memorize, a map of a research center, and then they were given certain description with the help of sentences, and then some objects that were there in the room. The researchers found that the participants' response time was faster when the objects were from the goal room, the room to which character was going, than the source room where the character came from. So where there's a lot of movement or activity going on, now that response time was faster. This was true even when the room where they were going was not explicitly mentioned in the text or in the narrative. So these results suggest that participants constructed mental model of the center during the course of reading. So both this research and these, along with Pairing and Kinch, they propose that instead of recalling the exact sentences, the reader or the participants, they were more clearer in terms of building mental model or mental image of the discourse of the sentences that were given to them. And that process was more facilitated in terms of developing an impression or understanding. Hence, situation models is that comprehension of stretch of discourse that involves the construction of mental representations of state of affairs denoted by the text rather than only a mental representation of the text, which is its text itself, the sentences or the wording. So mental images, they are very specific to the situational model, and since situational model refers to the state of affairs in the world, so when that is given in the form of a text, what enables the learner or the participant or any individual to construct the mental image is his or her own personal experiences and his or her own personal episodic events. They let or they contribute in the development of the specific mental image that one tends to form as far as the understanding of situation model is concerned.